Everybody in front, Jet, you want to stand up? One more time. Drew, raise your hand. You guys sitting behind Drew, move forward. You guys in that row behind Jet, move yourself forward, please. We'll just try to keep everybody kind of herded. Come on down here towards the front, please. Go to 50%. Okay, great. Well, I'm Dr. Brickner. I'm the instructor for this class. This is Physical Science 1121, Section 1, 0001. We're going to have a pretty basic lecture today. We're going to go through introductions and read the syllabus, and then I'm going to give you a reading assignment. And just so you know, we're going to try to keep you guys herded into the front of the room here because this microphone doesn't always, it probably won't last the whole hour, the whole lecture. So, and I don't want to strain my vocal cords too much. So let's get going. Here's how you spell my name. I'm a PhD in theoretical astrophysics. Okay. And so that means that one of the things that I study is black holes, which you may have heard of, quantum field theory in the early universe, you know, like the Big Bang theory. That really is a theory. It's not just a TV show. And come on down here towards the front, please. And I also study theory of information. In other words, codes and stuff like that. And I've been here teaching physics and astronomy, this class and others, since 2004. So I welcome you all. Welcome aboard, everybody. By the way, my last name is pronounced Brickner, like bricks. Come on down here towards the front. But it's one of these German last names that's infinitely mispronounceable and infinitely misspellable. And so if you feel like you're going to blow it in some way, you can just refer to me as Dr. B. And that's traditionally an acceptable form of address in this class. All right. Now we've got other people that I want to introduce you to. First of all, Anna Gerlina, go ahead and stand up. This is Anna. She's going to be our undergraduate TA. And she's one of my students from a previous semester that I've invited to come in here, help during lecture, maybe even have an office hour during the week to study with you guys and help with handing out tests and all that kind of stuff. All right, and she's great. I don't get TAs unless they're awesome, and Anna definitely fits that bill. Now we have another super awesome individual that many of you will really be happy to know, and that is our supplemental instruction leader, Yasmin Diaz. Go ahead and stand up. And she's going to give a little announcement. She and Katie. Katie's from SARC. This is Katie from SARC, and Yasmin, our SI leader. And they're going to give a little spiel about, and just take your time. We have plenty of time, whatever you want to say. Come on down here to the front, you guys. Towards the front, anywhere in here, the middle rows. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, guys. So I'm here from SARC. Who here has heard of SI before? Awesome. Who here has gone to an SI before? All right. So usually not quite as many as those who've heard. So for those who don't know and haven't been, SI is essentially where we have an SI leader who's taken the course and done really well, who will come in and sit in this course with you guys to experience the same thing. She'll then hold 4 weekly sessions, which the schedule is still kind of being made, but sessions to start next week. Those 4 sessions will be geared towards helping you guys through the course, helping you meet course objectives, and get extra time with the material. She's going to kind of facilitate group learning sessions to help make sure that you guys have better test-taking skills and study tips. So in order to kind of help with that, make sure that you do bring in questions and that you do kind of bring materials along with you so that she understands also where you guys are struggling. With that, those who attend SI regularly tend to do about a letter grade higher in the course, so it's definitely to your advantage to come. It's also completely free, and you don't necessarily have to come any particular day at a particular time. It's just if you're available when she has her times that you can always stop in and get that help that you need. With that, I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself a little bit.
So I'm Yasmin. This is I've been in this class a couple of times, right? So the first time I taken a class was with A. I know what's going on, right? So you can come to me for help. But I think I took a class in the summer of 2017, and then I was the SI leader in spring of 2018, and then fall 2019, and then now again in 2020. So I've been exposed to the material a whole lot. I'm here to help you. You have questions, we can go through everything together and help you come to a conclusion. What my job is to help you do the course without me. So it's not like a relying, like, let me go to Jasmine for the answers. It's like, let me go to Jasmine so she can help me maneuver this course. But I'm here to help. I'm super friendly. I get confused just like everyone else. I went to the wrong building twice today. So I'm one of you guys. So that's it.
All right. So again, she will be sitting in on this course, and so she'll start advertising her times when she has this available. If you're just kind of curious, definitely come check it out and make sure that you're getting the help that you need. All right. So I'll go ahead and turn it back over.
Is there any question for either Katie or Jasmine?
I guess one. So where you'll be meeting, will that be at the SARC building, or where will those?
That's a great question. So for SI, we actually book rooms across campus. So that will also come out when she has her times available. So she'll have that information, so she can post it onto her web courses, and also it'll be passed along to your professor.
And my answer to that is I'll have it on the introductory screen of each lecture as soon as we know what the schedule is. Usually takes the first week or so before they get classrooms. So you'll be patient another few more days. We should be all squared away schedule wise. Any other questions? Yo, in the back. Yo, move forward, please. Down here to one of the middle rows. Any other questions?
Unfortunately for SI, we do try to gear more towards having the group sessions. We do also have tutoring services, so those can be a little bit more one-on-one. So I would definitely check those out. That can be found in Trevor Colburn Hall.
We have a physics 1 tutor who I spoke to a while ago, and he's going to help with, if you have like specific questions, you can book one-on-one with him. He'll love that. It's free though. It's free.
For you.
For you. He gets paid.
What was your last name, Yasmin?
Diaz.
Yes?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to sit down now.
I hope you guys have a great semester. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Everybody give him a hand. Come on down here towards the middle, please. Jet, you get tired of being back there? Right. So supplemental instruction, I would just add that it is great. And if you can go 1 or 2 times a week even, you might not be able to make 4 sessions a week, but if you can go to even 1 or 2 per week, you're going to notice a difference in your exam scores and therefore your semester grade. So it is definitely going to be helpful. And even if you can't go for the entire session, even just going for part of the session will be helpful. And it's great. And Yasmin has done a superb job. When she was my SI leader, that was a year ago, last spring, right? Yep. And in fall, she was SI leader for another instructor, and hopefully that went good. And I know it went great for me, and so I heartily recommend it. And in fact, anything over at SARC, they are awesome. They have really good resources, and some of their handouts even I have used. So, just go over there, check them out. And the tutoring, that's new. I mean, the Physics 1 tutor being willing to help us lowly physical one science or physical science students. That's pretty good, you know, and it's free. All right. Now, I want to talk about the syllabus with you. And Anna and Jazz, do you want to help give her half the pile? Just give them out in bunches. Don't count them out. We're going to hand out the syllabus now. And if you have more, if there's more than you need, just pass it back and up, backwards and, okay, pass those extras backwards. Pass them around, we'll get more to you. So a little bit more light so you can read. Let's try 100%. I guess you can read that. And by the way, you may not have realized this, but I'm recording the lecture and the slides. Come on down here towards the middle rows, please. And I'll be putting it up on YouTube, so you'll see all the slides. This is every day. You'll see all the slides, every note, every diagram, every equation, everything that, and you'll hear my voice. The only thing you won't see is my smiling face. It'll be all just what's ever on the screen, and that'll be in YouTube. Probably for us, it'll be on YouTube about supper time, because I'm going to try to leave here, head home right after class. But it's usually the same day. So just keep an eye out. Anybody not have a syllabus? Okay. Who's got extras? Anybody have extra syllabuses? Okay, can you share? Can you guys back there share, or is there? I'll put a PDF in web courses, and you can download that. So I made 150, so I guess there's more than 150 people in here. That means you guys don't get any, but I'll put a PDF of it in web courses. All right, let's take a look at what we got. Okay, here's the basic specs. In the first table, there's my name, Dr. Brickner. I want you to go to the next row where it says telephone. Okay, 407-823-6286. Now take a pencil and scribble that out, because it's a bad way to contact me. I'm hardly ever there. And I don't even know, I don't have a phone anymore. I have Skype. So I don't even know how to use the voicemail on Skype. It's pretty pathetic. So what you want to do is go to the next line down, email. Now, right next to the word email, it says, no, do not send me email, not conventional email. Do use the messaging system inside web courses, right? So the inbox messaging, perfectly fine. And the reason for that is that the federal government education, the FERPA Act, whatever that stands for privacy. So I can't talk about your grades with you on conventional email. It's considered insecure and not private. All right. So I'm not even going to answer your email. So don't send me an email through, ucf.edu or anything like that. But do use web courses messaging. That is considered private and secure. All right. And I'm on it like 90% of the time. So I'm on it all day. And enough that my wife complains about, being on the web courses. All right. So I'll be able to message you about anything you need. Now, the other thing is, if you have a question about homework, which, we won't have any homework tonight, but we will on Thursday night. If you have a question about homework, how to make some calculation or where to look something up in the notes or whatnot, The best place to post a question like that is in discussions. And that's public. Everybody can read it. And if you send that to me in messaging, I'll tell you to post it in discussions and I'll answer you over there in discussions, but everyone else that you see in the room will be able to read it because chances are if you have a question about something, probably a dozen or more will have the same question or similar. Okay. So just so you know about that. All right, let's keep going. Course description, prerequisites, etc. General education foundation, E1. So that's what you're here for. The textbook, uh, it is my textbook called Interactions, Introduction to Physical Science. It's linked to our web courses area, and my wonderful students, it is free. You do not have to pay for it, which is a new development for they used to sell it over in the bookstore, the ebook form, for like over $100 and you only get it for 6 months. And and I don't see any of that. I don't see any of the royalties. I have to donate all my royalties to UCF. So it was so now it's free. I'm in control of the book now and it's free in the third edition. All right, so you'll see that, and I'll show you a picture of that in a few minutes. Okay, so that's the textbook, Learning Outcomes. The student will improve their ability to think about physical processes and calculate important physical quantities. Additionally, the student will comprehend the rise of science in the West, beginning with Aristotle and Galileo. All right, now that first sentence, improve your ability to think. That's really what we're trying to achieve. I don't run a physics class like this, physical science physics, um, in a way that makes things easy to memorize. So if you're used to like a biology or anatomy class or history class, we got to memorize a bunch of stuff. That's fine over there, but it's not going to really help you a whole lot, maybe a little bit, but not a big amount. What really is going to help you is challenging yourself to think with the concepts that we know. And on exams, especially, you're going to be tested. Okay, I'm going to ask you a lot of basic questions. So, you go through the basics and everybody will get those. But there'll be one or two brain burner questions in the exam that will really cause you to think, where you're putting together two things mentally that you had no idea were actually connectable. But if you think about it, you'll find a connection and you'll work out the problem. And that is what we do in science. We're not, there's a famous scientist that said, all of science is physics. Everything else is is collecting butterflies. In other words, just collecting stuff and classifying it. So he didn't really think too much of biology, I guess, that famous guy. But we're here, and thinking is the thing that you want to do in order to really, really do well in this class. Okay. Now, the second part of that, understanding the rise of science in the West, we'll be getting into that on Thursday, starting with Professor Galileo, and it is significant. And I teach a lot about the history of physics as we go, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So you get a little bit of history as we go. Okay, final exam. The next block down. 1 o'clock to 3:50 p.m. on Tuesday, April 21st. Unfortunately, that is the first day of finals week this semester. And Monday, the 20th of April, is the last day of classes. We don't get a study day. Okay? For some reason this year, I don't know, maybe it's their new policy, no study day between classes ending and finals week starting. By the way, raise your hand if you're a freshman. Okay. Put your hands down. Raise your hand if you're a new freshman, new this semester. One guy. Okay. One newbie. All right. So where were you before this? Oh, so you came a long way. Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome to Florida. You freshmen, you've been through finals week already, so but make sure you engrave this time, especially mentally, into your mind so you don't blow it and miss the final, which has happened. I mean, stuff happens, and it's, that's a disaster. Okay, general grading policies. We're just going to do straight letter grades A, B, C, D, and F, no plus or minus. I have nothing against plus or minus, but I have used plus or minus before, but you know, makes it a little easier, a little bit easier. It's not like a huge amount of work to do pluses and minus, but and also I do not grade on the curve. So engrave that into your mind. Don't even ever ask me about it. And the reason for that is if you grade on the curve, in fact, in this building, there are millions, thousands of psychology faculty, maybe. I mean, is anybody here in the psych department? Psych majors? Okay. Well, I'll phrase this in a judicious manner. Many faculty around this campus use the curve in order to get away with not thinking about what they write and how they write their tests. If you write a test with a little bit of thinking behind it, you can write a test that's tough to flunk for the students that are here every day and studied and doing homework and stuff, but yet tough to ace even for the top students. And that's fair, and that's how I try to write my exams. And so I never have to curve for one thing, but even if I did want to curve, a curve it's basically saying only a certain number of students in a class of this size, 150, so like maybe 15 students, please come down towards the middle. Rose, please find a place that you can sit. Maybe 15 students would get an A, no matter what they did. No matter, so if you had 15 students with an average of 97% and a 16th student with an average of 96%, tough toenails if you're doing the curve for that guy with 96%. All right, he doesn't get the A. And so my philosophy is if you earn an A, you get it. So if we break the curve, so what we're trying to do is basically break the curve. Now, don't tell anybody in the psychology department, okay? They might not like that. But that's what a teacher's doing. I want everybody in here, and it's some of you, it will take a couple weeks. After exam 1, after exam 2, you start really cooking. And by the final exam, you're really starting to crush my exams and stuff. But I want everybody, if you all earn A's, you'll get them. All right? It's on the syllabus what the grade scale is. If you don't, you don't. But if I have every single, even every newbie in here earning an A, you get it. And so that's what we're going to do. And just so you know, I'm looking around this room. I love teaching this class, because everybody thinks, oh, well, business majors, they're helpless in science. And, it's, who says that a lot? Engineering majors. Raise your hand if you know an annoying engineering major. And yeah, okay, they can be really annoying. But and you guys that are education majors, you're training to become a teacher. All you guys that are outside of the normal scientific discipline, I love teaching this class because it's really thrilling for me because I look across this room from over here on the right side to over here on the left side, and I see all you guys, and I think, who is it that's going to be, that says today, Dr. B, I'm no good in science. I've never been good in science. Who's that going to be that says that today? But by the end of the semester, Dr. B, I'm starting to really get it. Look at this exam grade. It could be you. It could be you with the hat back there. The cool hat, that helps. Really. All right. It could be, and the thing is, it's going to be somebody. It might be somebody in the front row, just like you. All right. It's going to be somebody. In fact, it's going to be a bunch of somebody. Now some of you guys had science class. Are there any engineering majors in here? Occasionally we have one. Okay. Okay. We have one or two engineering majors. I don't know why you guys are in here, but anyways, but they sometimes wander in onto the roster for some reason. But other than those guys, there's going to be a bunch of yous that are going to really start to get confident that and Dr. B, I've never been good at science before, but I'm really starting to get it. And that's what I live for in this class. That is why I love this class. And I love students like you guys. Okay? That's just what it's called, education, building you guys up, bringing it out of you, the thing that you didn't know that you've got. And somebody in here, a bunch of yous in here, this is going to be your semester for seeing that. And God bless you. It's going to be fun. All right, let's keep going. Well, my little spiel about grades. Oh, I got off the track there. Okay, next, academic integrity. Okay, all general UCF policies apply, especially Golden Rule and UCF Creed. The websites are there. We have recently experienced significant breaches of academic integrity with severe punishments through the Office of Student Conduct, including the Z grade. Okay, a Z grade on your transcript is a disaster. A disaster. So any employer or any grad school that you may hope to go to, they see a Z on there. Any cheating I detect on examination will be punishable by no less than a 0 on the examination in question, and lowering the semester grade and up to expulsion from UCF. And we've done that. Okay. So keep that in mind when you're taking your tests. And we'll have things set up so that your neighbors are not tempted to look at your paper and stuff. Operating another student's Iclicker is also cheating. Homework assignments are essentially study tools. So studying and working on homework with a classmate is acceptable, as is thinking and discussing during difficult clicker questions in lecture, but not on exams. So we're going to be doing clicker questions, and you may have some, like some right triangle that you're trying to calculate, or an acceleration, and it's a little tough, and you're talking with your neighbors here in class and trying to kind of work it out, see what they think. And I highly, highly encourage that. It's wonderful. Okay, but not on exams. Okay, on exams, it's just you. Okay, class, it's fine. Homework, it's fine. Okay, next paragraph, accommodations. UCF is committed to providing reasonable accommodations for all persons with disabilities, and I share the same commitment. Students with disabilities who need accommodations must be registered with Student Accessibility Services, SAS, over in Farrell Commons, and the phone numbers are there. Before requesting accommodations from Dr. Brickner. Students registered with SAS that need accommodations must initiate contact through SAS and Knights Access. Okay, and there's the website for SAS. No accommodations will be provided until the student has used SAS Knights Access to request accommodations. Active duty military accommodations will be made as a matter of course as they become necessary. So if you know that you're going to have an SAS accommodation, get the paperwork rolling. And I've already gotten a few letters from SAS about that. So if you haven't got your paperwork in, get it squared away. And by the time the first exam rolls around, and also homework too, I can give you extra time on homeworks very easily. But get that paperwork rolling and we'll get it squared away. It's very easy to do, and we have a good system for handling that. So, but you got to get it through SAS. Okay, emergency, next section. Please familiarize yourself with all exits to this lecture hall, so be alert to your surroundings. God forbid there's ever an emergency, but there's an exit back there. At the back of the room where you came in, there's one over here that goes out by the parking garage. Okay, and so I might use that every day to get out of here fast. And that's why the engineering department has to make a fast getaway over here in the front row. Right? Yep, see, I figured it out what you guys are doing. All right, so anyways, emergency exits, be careful with those. Okay, financial federal surveillance. As of fall 2014, all faculty members are required to document students' academic activity at the beginning of each course. In order to document that you began this course, please complete the assigned homework during the first week of class, which I'll assign Thursday. It'll be a simple, teeny little homework assignment. Our attendance quiz, so to speak. As soon as possible after adding the course, but everybody's already here, so. Oops, it says up to and including August 24th. It should be January 11th. Failure to do so will result in a delay in the disbursement of your financial aid. You definitely want to avoid that. You know, financial aid delays are a pain in the boop. So just do that homework 0. That's what it'll be called. It's a little 2-question homework assignment. Very easy. Come on down here to the middle rows, please. That'll be in web courses, and that's how we'll comply with it. Okay, class participation. Okay, next section, class participation. Can you turn on the, I'll do it. Let me turn on the document cam. Okay, up here on the right, you see a Iclicker, an Iclicker 2. You can buy them at the bookstore in various places. And that's what we use for classroom participation. So let's go through this. Register your Iclicker only through web courses. No class code is needed when registering. Now, when you get into the website, into our web courses area, there's a little, up in the upper left, there's a little bar that says Iclicker. Just click on that. And all you do is type in the serial number, the little teeny number on the back, and your Knight's mail address, and ding, you're in. Okay. So try to do that tonight. Who's got an Iclicker with them today? A few of you, good. Try to get them, the rest of you try to get one for Thursday. And let's see, the official start, okay. Register it through web courses only. No class code is needed when you register through web courses, only the Iclicker serial number. So for those of you that are on a Mac, don't use Safari, use Firefox or Chrome. Matter of fact, I do all my, I'm a Mac user and I do all my web courses stuff on Google Chrome for the most part. And I don't know, maybe Safari's working a little bit better now, but it used to be very big, unreliable rendering of images from Canvas. It works great everywhere else on the internet, but not for some reason on Canvas. But Firefox and Chrome are good. Safari is shaky. If your Iclicker is not registered through web courses, then you will not get any participation points for your semester grade. The deadline for registering this semester is January 21st. So that's the Tuesday after Martin Luther King Day. Okay, so UCF has a day off on January 20th for Martin Luther King Day. And then that Tuesday, that will be the start of our official clicking. Okay, now before that, we're not going to do any clicking today, but Friday or Thursday And then Tuesday and Thursday next week, we'll do some clicking in class for practice. And for everybody that's registered with their Iclicker, for every day that you're registered, every lecture that you're registered, you'll get a bonus point. So you can start off the semester with at least 3 bonus points if you get your Iclicker and register it like tonight or tomorrow, all right, through web courses, all right. And also, if you don't have an Iclicker, you can buy one, of course, and I think you can rent them over at the bookstore as well. If you can borrow one from a friend or a roommate, if they're not using it Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, you can certainly use it but you got to register it through web courses. Okay. And if they're using it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for their class, it'll work just great. So just clear that with your roommate or whoever. And yeah, you can borrow one. You won't have to shell out any money for renting or buying one. By the way, if you are using an Iclicker in another class, please come down to the middle rows, down here somewhere. If you're using an Iclicker in another class, like psychology class or, English class or something like that, they may ask you to register through the Iclicker.com website. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and do what your instructor says. But for this class, you have to use web courses, so you got to do both. And the system will tolerate both. It won't cause any problems. Okay, so go ahead and do that. All right. Additionally, the Iclickers are like little cell phones. Okay, they have a limited range, out to the hallway, I guess, but not much further than that. And they each have a frequency, or they can each be set to a certain frequency. And we're going to be using a certain frequency this semester, but your other instructors might have a different frequency than me. Okay, so you have to be alert to that. And I'll show you how to do that on Thursday, okay, when we do our first Iclicker session. Okay, next paragraph. Question? Oh, go ahead. The app?
The Reef app.
Yeah, the Reef app. No, we're not using the Reef app. Okay, just the physical Iclicker. All right. All right. Let's keep going. The leeway factor. You must answer 85% of all lecture questions, whether correctly or incorrectly, in order to get all 25 points for your semester grade. Okay? And that gives you about 2 lectures, I would say, that you could burn. In other words, if like you have a dentist appointment or something, and then your roommate accidentally, walks out with your Iclicker in his knapsack, and you don't have it for the day. You probably, to keep it above 85% or more, you probably have 1 or 2 lectures to burn. But other than that, if you go more than that, it's going to start cutting into your points. Okay, so more than 85% answered, 25 out of 25 for your semester grade. Fewer than 85%, we make your points proportional. And I'll show you in a few weeks how to calculate that. It's a little tricky, but not too bad. Homework. We will convert homework to 25 points also for the semester grade on a straight percentage basis. We will work, as I said before, we will work at homework and participation points examples in lecture in a few weeks when we've got some more homework on the books and some clicking on the books. Okay, let's go to the next page and let's take a look at this task list. Now this is over on the right side. These are all the different things that you're going to be doing to earn regular points. Now, total of 250 points. There's going to be 3 midterm exams, 1, 2, and 3, and each is 50 points. But We'll drop the lowest of those three if you take all three, and we'll keep your best two. All right. So if you, for some reason, biff it on exam 2, we'll drop that one. Keep exam 1 and exam 3. Whichever ones work out. And it's hard to tell, which ones are going to be the one that you drop. You never know. So that's 100 points out of those three. Then 25 for homework, 25 for clicking, participation. And then the final exam is 100 points. That's double the size of a midterm. Okay, so each midterm is 20%. Homework is 10%, participation is 10%, and the final exam is 40%. All right, so a total of 100%. And note that the homework and participation pointage, you won't appreciate it until the end of the semester. But the homework and participation pointage add up to a full midterm. So if you have 3 midterms that are a little stinky, and you're thinking, oh man, how am I ever going to get a C in this class? But you've been faithfully clicking in lecture and faithfully doing your homework, and you've got 25 out of 25 for both of those, or maybe 25 and a 24, 49 out of 50. That's like getting a 49 or a 50 on a midterm, okay? And that is a nice chunk of change to balance out any residual stinkiness in your midterm scores, which, hopefully you'll do good. But, every once in a while, I shouldn't say every once in a while, every semester, like for us, the end of the semester is April. Okay, April, those 50 points are going to be coming in like the cavalry, my friend, and they're going to be bailing you out when you thought, oh, I'm never going to get, and as soon as I calculate those out for you, you're going to think, Dr. B, I'm actually going to get a B in this class. How did that happen? Because of the clicking and the homework points. All right. So mandatory examination. Let's talk about exams now. So this is back on the left side. At UCF, academics comes first. Attendance at exams is mandatory. University excused absences are only for religious observances, which this semester is going to be like maybe Passover, Easter. Well, not Easter, that's a Sunday, but like Good Friday maybe. Well, not Good Friday. But anyways, various, because we don't have classes on Fridays. But anyways, anything like that is a religious observance. And then intercollegiate activity or athletics, military call-ups, and university verified family and medical emergency. Okay, so family emergency is like hurricanes. Now we're not going to have to, hopefully, we won't have to worry about hurricanes this semester. Raise your hand if you were here in 2004 in Florida for Hurricane Charlie, Francis, and Jeannie. Yeah, a bunch of yous. Anybody here from Lake Wales? Because Lake Wales got all 3 direct hit. Charlie, Francis, and Jeannie. That was a bad semester. So we had a lot of family emergencies to re-verify. Our whole exam schedule was messed up that fall. It happens. We dealt with it though. But the next sentence is important. Weddings, plane tickets from Priceline, etc., are not legitimate excuses. Not for missing a midterm, not for missing a final. It is physics department, second paragraph. It is physics department policy that making up missed exams will only be permitted for university excused absences mentioned in the previous paragraph. Authentic justifying documentation must be provided in every case and in advance for university sanctioned activities. So in advance, that means if you're on a sports team or a club or something, debate team or whatnot, your advisor will give you something called a program verification form. Okay, and then you give that to me, and then, usually it doesn't interfere with the test schedule, but every once in a while it does, and we work around that. Okay, so if that applies to you, definitely get that to me, that paperwork to me. At the discretion of the instructor, the makeup may take any reasonable and appropriate form, including but not limited to a replacement exam, replacing the missed work with the same score as a later exam, or allowing a dropped exam. Circle that last phrase, allowing a dropped exam. That is how we will deal with absences. That is why, among other things, that we have the whole idea of keep the best 2 out of 3, drop the lowest of the 3 midterms. So if you're absent, like for exam 2, then that goes down as a 0, right? And that's automatically going to be your lowest, no matter what you got on the other 2. That's going to be your lowest one, and that'll be dropped. But that means you're stuck with the other 2, right? So what you want to do is have all 3. You want to be on the scoreboard for all 3 exams, all right? And then it's, going to really help you, all right? Exam procedures, further down the same column. For each examination, you must bring a number 2 pencil, a good eraser, a UCF Scantron raspberry color with the UCF logo on it, and your Iclicker 2. All right, and we'll be using the Iclicker during exams for a few questions. You'll be clicking in answers. 2, Roman numeral 2. You may use a basic scientific calculator like the one up here in front. So that's the one that I carry around at my net, $50 at Walmart. Okay. Go buy yourself one. If you have to, go to the bookstore and get one. If you dare, if you want to spend a lot of money. Anybody here work at the bookstore? Okay, good. Who does? No, nobody. Okay. Yeah, the bookstore. Anyways, you may use a basic scientific calculator like the TI-30X but anything with a square root key will be fine. And you have to be on time. Now that means that if you arrive late after the first student finishes, which in this class is probably about 20 minutes in after I start everybody, you can't take the exam. All right, you got to be here on time. So a minute late, you're okay. But 20 minutes late for a midterm, you're cutting it awful close. You might not, I won't do it. I mean, just, and I've done it every semester once or twice in one of my classes. There'll be a student that comes in too late. Even the final, it's too late. You got to be there on time. Okay, you freshmen, take note of that. Okay, no cell phones are allowed on exams, so no cell phone calculators either. If you forget your calculator, you'll just have to use a bit of good old 6th grade long division on paper, and you'll survive. As is customary, if you take all 3 midterm exams, we will drop the lowest score and keep the best 2. Most students, almost everybody in here, over 80%, you'll be here for all 3 exams. This is highly desirable. If you miss an exam due to absence, either excused or unexcused, all right? So excused or unexcused, if you miss it, that's going to be a 0. And then you got to make sure that they're there for the next exam. So if you miss exam 2, you better doggone be sure to be there for exam 3, or then you're really in trouble with your grade. All right? Now let's keep going. So the final exam, let's talk about that. The next sentence down. Final exam is cumulative. All right? Everything from today until the end of April. Middle of April, I guess, is our last class. It's also mandatory, and it cannot be dropped. Right? So what gets dropped is maybe one of the 3 midterms. Okay? What never gets dropped, what everybody's going to have on their grade book is the exam. If you miss the final exam, just say bye-bye to a passing grade. It's just, and last semester I did that. I mean, a couple students, not in this class, but in one of my other classes, for whatever reason, they had the schedule just like you do. They had the schedule from the first day of classes, and then they blew it off. In fact, one student blew off midterms as well, and then wanted to know, well, what can I do to get a passing grade? And by that time, it's, especially after the final. If you blow off a midterm, you can survive that. It's going to be rough, but missing the final, that's, there's no recovery from that. It's just toast. So you just got to get that done. All right. So make perfect attendance on the 4 exam dates your absolute priority. So let's look at this sketch. Oh, by the way, I reserve the right to make changes to the items. This is actually the last sentence of the syllabus. I reserve the right to make changes if necessary on the syllabus. Here's the, so this, I might have to change this if we have a hurricane or some other kind of disaster. Hopefully we don't. But this is the one, you should program this into your phone. I mean, seriously. And put some alerts, so that you don't miss these dates. Tuesday, February 4th. It's about one per month. Tuesday, March 3rd, April 7th, Tuesday. They're all on Tuesdays. All right. So you'll have all weekend. You'll have class on Thursday, the last lecture before the exam, and then have all weekend to get studied up. All right. And then on Tuesday, you come in here and you take me to the cleaners. All right. And the final, you're going to have to start studying for the final. And I'll have some study tools for you. Usually we have a few more days, but this semester, bang, the very last day. But actually, what we have is from the Thursday before that, and then the weekend, and then the Monday, we don't have class that Monday because we don't meet on Mondays. And then that Tuesday, we take the finals. So we have a little bit of time, but we'll have to start. Can you come down and sit in the middle here somewhere? Or not? We usually have a little more time for study tools and different things, study review guides and whatnot. And we'll just have to trot those out a little earlier than usual this semester. So we'll get it done. All right, here's this grade scale. At 250 points, if you get 225 or more, ding, that's an A. All right? And as I said, we don't curve. So if you get that grade, if you get those points, you get the grade. We don't curve it. All right? And it's a 90%. So I go by the points that you have on the books at the end after the final. So this is like after the final. Okay, before the final, you can just go by the percentage that you have, 90% or 75% for a B, or after the final, 188 points. All right. C, 150 points or more, 60% factor. D is half the points, 125 out of 250. All right, so if you get that, you'll get a D for the semester. Now, in a class this size, there might be 1 or 2 Ds and 1 or 2 Fs. There's not going to be a lot of Ds and Fs. If you come to class faithfully and you listen to me nagging you about homework and blabbing my big mouth about Newton's laws of physics for 3 hours a week, and if you do your homework faithfully and get good grades on it, you're not going to get a D. Unless, like you maybe miss more than one midterm. Something like that. But almost everybody's going to be here for all midterms. And almost everybody's going to do good on homework. And everybody's going to be doing great on, participation points and stuff. The best way to get an F in here is not to come to class. I'll just say that right now. So raise your hand. If you want to get an F for the semester, raise your hand right now. Oh, nobody. Okay. That means you all want to come to every class. Yeah, definitely. I see you smiling and giggling back there in the back row. It's all right. Come to every class. Anyways, come to every class faithfully. We do have a little bit of leeway, but after 1 or 2 absences, you're just going to start hurting your grade. The same with homework. Now, homework, the way that I do homework is I usually, it's like a quiz inside web courses, and uh, a bunch of multiple choice questions, and then maybe a couple calculation questions. It just varies how I feel when I set it up. And usually you'll have 4 attempts for each homework. So you can't game it, but you can usually get a good, I mean, if you study with a friend and just that's what you do, you work on homework together, that'll help. You'll get good grades. You have 4 attempts. Sometimes I make more than 4 attempts available. Okay, now we're going to dismiss a little bit early today, but before we do, I want to show you something about the reading homework that's coming up. Okay, now here's what our website looks like, and raise your hand if you've been in there already in web courses. Okay, good. Yeah, I just published it an hour or 2 ago. All right, and what I want to show you is, let me blow this up a little bit. Here's the link to the textbook. All right, now that's the free textbook. And what that does is it clicks you over to the modules page, and in the modules page you'll see introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, and on down. And you just click into the different chapters and stuff. And so what I want you to do, you've been a good class. You haven't done a lot of talking. I hope that keeps up. I know you're getting restless. We're about to leave. We're not leaving yet because I have to give you the homework assignment. Okay? So I want you to read the introduction and chapter 1 and just kind of skim through it and read it. It's not too long. Maybe make a note or two. Look at the diagrams and stuff. Try to listen to what you'll be able to tell it's me that wrote it because it sounds just like me in lecture. All right? It reads like dictation from lecture. All right? So get that squared away. I'll see you on Thursday. You're dismissed. And if you want a question, have a question right now, you can come up. We'll be here for a few minutes. All right, now here's what we got to do at the end of class. We always have to stop the